Hey guys, welcome to today's video in which I'm going to be discussing how to answer maps and plans questions in IELTS Academic Task 1. Let me begin first of all with the fundamentals, the things that we must consider when we're writing this type of question. So obviously when you're given two maps or two plans to contrast, you're going to be highlighting the differences between the two maps, of course, but we're also going to be mentioning the similarities. Don't ignore the similarities. If things haven't changed or things have stayed, some features have stayed very similar, we want to mention these as well. The verb tense you use should match when the map is from. That is to say, if I'm describing a map from the past, I should be using the past tenses to describe the map. If I'm describing a map from the present, present tenses. If I'm describing a map from the future, future tenses. That's very important. Usually when you're given a map, it will include the points of the compass. That is to say, a little symbol with north, south, east, and west. If you have this symbol, you are expected to use north, south, east, and west when you are describing where places are. If you get a plan, you might not get the compass, and it's better to use up, down, left, and right, or top, bottom, left, and right. But where you're given the compass, you're expected to use that vocabulary in your description. You want to try and be very clear and very precise about where things are located. Imagine that someone is reading your text and has to draw a map based on your description. So obviously, the more clear and detailed and precise your description is, the better they could draw that map, right? So it's not what really happens, obviously, but it's a good sort of process to keep in mind. Could someone read my description of this map and draw the map reasonably well based on my description of it? So I want to be very precise about where things are. Let's have a look at an example. So here we've got a map from 1995 and then from the present day. It says, the map below shows the development of the village of Rymouth between 1995 and present. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. That's always the instruction. In Academic Task 1, summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. So as I said before, we're obviously going to be looking at the differences, but we're going to be looking at similarities as well. And in fact, I tend to make that the basis of my two main paragraphs. So I'm going to look at the two maps and have a look, okay, what's changed a lot? All right, so here in 1995, we've got farmland and forest turned into a big golf course with tennis courts. Shops have gone, the fish market's gone, they've been replaced by restaurants and apartments, the fishing port has disappeared. So big differences there. And then other features have changed a bit or stayed the same. So housing remains very similar, but it's been extended, it's been expanded. The hotel is in the same place, but a new car park's been added. So in those cases, there's been modifications. The cafe looks to be the same as it always was, so it hasn't changed at all. So having kind of identified the big differences and then things that don't change so much or things that don't change at all, that's going to be the basis, my kind of structure for my main paragraphs. So introduction, first of all, the map shows the village of Rymouth as it was in 1995 and its present day form. Short and sweet introduction, very brief. Overview. Over the last few decades, there has been considerable development in residential and leisure provision, while farmland, parkland, and fishing have disappeared. So I haven't gone into the details about exactly what's replaced what or where things are. As always, the overview is just kind of the big picture. So if I'm reading that, I can kind of orientate myself. And okay, so I'm expecting there's going to be more housing, there's going to be more sort of free time activity things to do, and the fishing industry's kind of disappeared. So as the reader, I've kind of orientated myself about what's going on in this map. And then again to the details, right? So first paragraph, things have changed a lot. The agricultural and parkland that was located in the northeast has been replaced by a golf course and tennis courts. Along the southern coast, on either side of the road, new restaurants and apartments have taken the place of the shops and fish market that were there previously. The fishing port on the central coast has disappeared completely. So being very precise about where things are in the northeast and the south, where things are at either side of the road. So the reader, okay, I know there's a road there and things are on either side of it. So nice and precise and clear about where things are on the map and where things are in relation to each other. And then my next main paragraph is going to talk about things that have changed a little bit, but not too much. Or in the case of the cafe, hasn't changed at all. The residential area in the northwest has been expanded to the southeast and along the new road going west. The coastal cafe and hotel in the southeast have remained, with a new car park being added next to the hotel's eastern wall. This is brief. This comes in at under 150 words, but I've got all the details, everything we need to talk about. Anyone reading that could have a pretty clear idea and be able to sort of redraw these maps based on the descriptions. Obviously, this is one map. There are different maps, different plans, but the principle is always the same. You talk about the differences, you talk about the things that stay very similar, and you're very precise about where things are in both maps. Remember, if you need help with this, if you need help with speaking or writing preparation or evaluations, hit me up on the email address you see on the screen or write in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Take care.